Hi, Annette Neal from PRD Whitsunday. Now this week I thought I'd talk about a real hot topic and certainly something I saw first thing this morning when I woke up and I checked the news. And that is what's going to happen next week with a potential interest rate hike. Now it is certainly a hot topic and something that there are many differing opinions on. So this week I thought I'd bring you the thoughts of our chief economist here at PRD Research. Now, Dr. Asti states that to look at what may happen, we really need to look back at what did happen in the last period where we saw rates hike over a period of time that ultimately pushed property values down a little bit. Now we're talking back to 2009 and 2010. Now back then we saw the first rate hike come through and it actually had the opposite effect, and we saw more sales happen as people rushed out to lock in their property before further potential hikes. That has shown us that in the period of about 12 months, over sustained hikes of 175 basis points, that we then saw property values begin to decline. So although there is a lot of doom and gloom media out there at the moment, we will have to see particularly high interest rate hikes over a period of time before it does seem to have quite an effect on the property values. Now, also interestingly, we're operating in a slightly different market than we were back then in 2010 and the start of the GFC, where we were heavily reliant on international demand in our housing market. Now, it's really quite interesting that that almost has disappeared, and we're looking at, COVID pandemic has had an effect. Also, the government homeowner grants have had a massive effect on demand into housing. I've spoken about that numerous times. Also, we've seen demographic changes. So that's where I've also spoken at length about people looking to the regions and looking to change where they live. And the other thing to note at the moment when we talk about interest rate hikes is there are markets within our general market. So we have the Australian housing market as a whole, then we go to states, then it's almost broken down by regions and also types of properties. So you may see that houses and units are performing at different levels. So although there's plenty of information out there, plenty of fear mongering, I guess you could say, it's really going to be a long-term sustained series of rate hikes before we tend to see too much change to the demand on property here in Australia and ultimately to prices. So until next week, you can read the full release by our chief economist, which is below this video this week.